Boys, so this is how you stop getting banned or prevent bans or account restrictions on your sports betting accounts. Now, the reason why you want to do this is because the more promotions you have. So if I go on sports right now, as you guys can see, we have a lot of wins, and the more promotions and the more wins you have is the best way you're going to. Alright, boys, so this video is going to be explaining how we can stop getting banned on our sports betting accounts. Now, the reason why you may want to do this is because obviously you don't want to get banned, but once you win a lot like this, you want to, have your account health in check. Because if you just keep winning all the time and you have an edge over the bookie and you want to profit more and more and more, and if you just do that, place good bets, make good money all the time, you're going to get banned, you're going to get limited, you won't be able to make any more money. So the whole aim of the game is to make as much money without being on the bookie's radar and without getting banned, so you can keep going. As well as you guys can see right here, if you win a lot, you don't really get as much special. So look, I don't really have much specials on sport right now because I've won a lot. So that's a bad thing, right? Because you need specials and promotions to make more money. But let me get into that now. So how to not get banned on sports betting, right? How do you not get banned? So very, very simple, right? First thing you guys have to understand is that bookies have customers, right? And the customers from these bookies are grouped into like four, right? So we make groups of four. So the first customer is the gambler, right? This is the customer that the sports betting companies and apps, they love this customer. Why? Because these make the sports betting apps the most money, right? Bear in mind my spelling there, boys. But they make the sports betting apps and the companies the most money. So of course they're gonna love this gambler. This is the guy that just goes on the weekend, goes to the footy, goes on the NBA, punts, once every day on some fun stuff that they're like, have no edge. They lose all the money, right? They love this customer. Now, the second one is the keep an eye on you. So these are the people that might have an idea of what match betting is or an idea of what an advantage is over the bookies. And they're not on the radar just yet, but they're just keeping an eye on you, seeing, this guy may be a sharp better or this guy might be using promotions, right? So they're just keeping an eye on you. That's the second group, right? You don't really want to be in that group. The third group and the fourth group is groups that are the red zone, right? So this is the red zone. I like to call this the red zone because once you're in this red zone, you're basically cooked, right? So restricted / promo banned means that you've been identified as a sharp better. A sharp better is someone that wins a lot and that knows what he's doing and has an advantage over the bookie by having an edge. So yeah, you've been restricted and you've been promo banned. You no longer have promotions, as you guys can see. I don't really have promotions here. I haven't been promo banned yet, but I don't really have much promotions anymore, as you guys can see right there, because I've been winning a lot, right? But as you guys can see, this is the restricted zone, okay? And then the fourth zone is banned. So banned is basically when your account is done. You've been promo banned completely. You'll be able to withdraw your money, but you've just been banned. And yeah, it's basically just you do not want to get into this red zone. So now the whole question is, how do we not get into this red zone? Well, once you guys know that the gambler is the one that you want to be like, the gambler is the one that you want to show the bookies that you're a gambler, but obviously you're going to not be a gambler. You're going to be making money, but you want to show them that you're this, right? This is the type of behavior that you're trying to replicate. So how do we do that? Well, that is by mug betting. It's designed to make you look like a gambler. And you can do this by a lot of ways, but the first way is just by placing line bets. So if you're getting 1.9 odds when it should be 2 odds by placing total points in the market like this, on an NBA, for example, on an NBA game, you're placing this, you're basically donating money to the bookie and giving them what they want, because this is obviously never going to be the true odds, and edge-wise, you do not have an edge doing this. You're going to lose all your money. This is probably the quickest way to lose all your money betting this, because it's a gamble, right? It's not really an actual edge. You're going to lose your money. So this is one way, by placing line bets. You're giving them what they want, and this is what a gambler would do. He'd place a line bet, or he'd place like a head-to-head bet maybe, but that's what he'd do. That's what a gambler would do. So again, it's replicating the gambler's behavior, and that's just a quick way to do it. But a quick tip as well with this is that if you start your account with mug betting, right? So when you're first opening your sportsbet account, the first bet that you should be placing on your sportsbet account, right? If I go to home right here, where are my bets? So if I went to home and I went to the... was an example of priming the account, which is what we are calling this right here. Quick tip, if your account starts with mug betting, you'll look around as the bookie. So yeah, you want to start mug betting. Now, mug betting again, we have a bot in our group. I'm going to show you that in a second, but basically this is called arbitrage betting. What I was doing, so I would be staking right like $1,000 on West Tigers plus 16, and then I'd go to the other line on the other game for Brisbane Broncos and do negative 17, right, or negative 16.5. So then that way, either way, I'm gonna win, but I'm only gonna lose like $50, right? And that's what I did for a long time. On this account when I first started it, because again I was mug betting, right, showing the bookie that I'm going to lose, and from there then I started my account after that, and it made my account health a lot better. So that's why I've been cashing out now. But yeah, so if you do this, you'll be put in the gambler category. So you sacrifice money at the start to make it a lot later. This is very important, guys. If you don't have the patience for this, then you'll never be able to get to the winning slips like I just showed you before, right? So again, boom, sacrifice money at the start to make it a lot later, okay? Now, the next thing is you want to avoid suspicious betting patterns. So betting patterns are things like placing the under 16 ping pong in China at 3 a.m. on a Tuesday. Just because you found a good bet, right? It doesn't matter. Why are you placing it at 3 a.m. on a Tuesday, and why are you betting in these markets? You're going to get instantly flagged. You're going to get instantly reported from the betting AI, whatever the hell they have. They have a bunch of stuff. You guys, this is $1 billion companies. They have a lot of stuff when to look for your accounts. And especially if you're betting in this market, you'll get flagged and they'll get a manual review on your account, and then they'll either ban you or limit you, and it just won't be good for you, right? So don't be doing this. Don't be doing crazy markets. Stick to the markets. Replicate the gambler's time to bet and what markets they bet. And what I mean by that is if you go to sports, just go to NBA, everyone would bet on the NBA. So this is a safe market to bet in. Everyone would bet on the NRL. Everyone would bet on the AFL. This is a safe markets to bet in, right? But if I go more and start deep into like upcoming, and I go to like, I don't know, let's just find some weird stuff. Like a same game multi of club friendlies, friendly. Like, see this how this is a weird market. The average gambler wouldn't bet on this market, you know? Like if I'm going to soccer and you go upcoming or all soccer, you got like leagues, right? And if you go to like, look, you can literally go to some weird leagues. I'll show you boys what I mean. If I go to like, let's just go Asia, Thai League One. Let's go to some, like, what is this, right? Like, why would you gamble on this? You just don't know who's going to win. And also, why are you betting on this market? I don't care if you found a good bet or a good value bet. This is just, ridiculous. Don't be gambling on markets like this. You're going to get quick banned. So, yeah. Anyways, the next thing after that, boys, is the stake sizes. So I'll get into this in the next slide. But basically, as you start accounts, stake sizes is basically a way of how. Let me just show you. Hold on. Boys, so I'll get into this, but just wait for that. First thing is avoid betting markets too early as well. So, for example, if I'm going on the horse racing right here, horse racing, as you guys can see next to jump, we have a bunch of these horses, right? Mostly, and the average gambler too, and most punters bet on the horses within like the hour or 30 minutes or right before the jump. Honestly, right before the jump is when most people bet on it. Nobody really bets on horses like an hour before. That's just stupid, right? But most gamblers bet either on the day or right before the jump, right, on the horse. But if you're betting on horses on Thursday from today, if I'm betting on like a horse like this, right, today, right, this horse is on Thursday, what the fuck are you doing? That is the most, like, nobody does that. Your account will get flagged as well. So again, you have to understand you are replicating a gambler's behavior. And the way to do that is by literally just seeing what gamblers do. So, for example, not placing bets on the horses on Thursday. Like, it's just stupid, right? So, that's another thing. Avoid betting on marks too early. And if you're betting on horses and dog marks specifically, do that before the race starts, because that's going to be the best way to stand inside the crowd, not outside of the crowd, right? That's suspicious, right? And then most punters bet right before the race. Yeah, don't let your bet stand out. Simple stuff. You guys will get it. Now, into my next example on this. Stake sizes as you start accounts. So, when you first start an account, right, boys, stake sizes, as I said before with the arbitrage betting example, you're placing two bets against each other. Now, usually when you get the calculator, and again, I said before, boys, what's a mug betting bot? Basically, when you place two bets against each other. So again, it's literally this simple. You go into this bot in the YAUPICKS group. We offer a mug betting bot in our group. It's very, very simple. So let's just say I'm placing an arbitrage bet, and it's like 1,000, right? So boom, just to prime my account. Overall, or I can do minimal loss, to be honest. I'll do minimal loss, but basically it gives me two bets to place, right? For $1,000 each, and as you guys can see, I'll lose $51, but I place two bets against each other. So again, this goes back into my point of this right here when I said if you want to mug bet, yeah. So again, if I want to start an account, in the example I showed you before, mug betting, right? So this bot helps you do that. You can mug bet, start accounts, you can find two bets against each other, and then you can lose an amount. So you have to lose $60, but again, you're only doing this to prime your account. So sacrifice money at the start and then make a lot later using the edge that you'll get over time. And trust me, you're always going to end up being profitable. It's not that hard to be profitable. It's just the fact of knowing what you're doing. It's really not that hard. That's the least of problems with sports betting. The biggest problem is getting banned. So again, sacrifice money at the start and make it a lot later doing mug betting. So again, go back to my example. When you do place these mug bets, these are called arbitrage bets as well, by the way. So these mug bets can also be arbitrage. Arbitrage when you place two bets against each other. Again, it's pretty simple. Two bets against each other at a minimal loss, you'll lose $50. Regardless of whatever team wins, it doesn't matter. You will lose $50 guaranteed, right? Just to place a mug bet to either start your account or to do mug betting, obviously to make your account health better. So again, $51 right here. And as I said before, as you guys can see, it says 51.92, right? And it says $1,200, $11.92. I wouldn't do that, right? I wouldn't place Sacramento Kings $1,200, right? Why would I do that? Because the reason that accounts get flagged, right, is because they bet the exact cent. So if I go here and I search up what that mug bet was, Sacramento Kings, right? Sacramento Kings. This bot's so cool because look, you can literally go and find the exact bet right there. Sacramento Kings bet one. Give me bet one right there. Boom, it tells you exactly where to place it at. So $1,000 back stake. There you go. So look, if I was to go to boom, wants me to back Sacramento Kings, mug bet right there. And it'll be $1,000 back stake. So I'll go here, place $1,000. This is a safe mug bet because I'm placing $1,000. So that's the way our bot is coded it. But if you're finding arbitrage bets any other way, and placing two bets against each other, usually they'll tell you to like place weird numbers like 10, 52.67 or something, right? And that's weird. You never want to do that. You always want to round it up to the closest zero. So if it's like that, 10 like 67.38 or 67.84, right? You want to round it up to just 1070, right? Because this is the safest bet. No one bets doing 57.85. Nobody does that. People clearly know they're gonna again. You look suspicious, so don't do that. Never want to do that, right? That's another just quick tip for you boys right there. And don't bet max promo sizes. So I don't know if you guys know this, but mainly in specials, right? They always give you like a $50 same game multi. So if I went here, right, and I did same game multi, and I did like these two as well, these three, add to bet slip. See, same game multi, they give you a bet return, right? So boom, bet return, get up to $50. So $50 is the max stake that you get, right? So if I put $50 in here, right, and if I complete and I apply my bet return, and I'm always doing these bet returns, right? I'm always doing $50, $50, right? That is going to be very bad for my account because of very simple because I'm betting max promo sizes. That's the max amount that someone's giving me for a bonus bet back. And you guys may not understand this now, but if you apply the promo, we basically can turn this back into real money as well, exactly with our bonus bet bot that we have in here, which is again is pretty simple, boys. You just choose your bookie. Let's say this bet lost right here. Let's say this bet return lost, right? So again, it lost by one leg, which is why we have the 1.1, 1.1, 1.6. So these two are probably going to hit. In the odd case that this one doesn't hit, the 1.61, then it will lose by one leg, which means we'll get up to $50 in bonus bet back returns. This is the system we have in our NBA group, in our NBA tipping. It's pretty simple stuff, but yeah, if it loses, we'll get a $50 bonus bet back. And then this bot will basically just teach you guys, or it'll give you the bets that you need to place to get your bonus bet back. So I'll show you what I mean, but yeah, so I'll get 76% back of my bonus at 78 or 75. I'm going to choose bet 2, 78%. So as you guys can see, I just need to place these two bets against each other. One side will be bonus bet, one side will be my real cash. But as you guys can see, no matter what happens, these two bets against each other, 78% conversion rate right there. And if I go here, this will be a 78% back of the bonus bet that I got. So $50 times 78, if we just go to calculator, it's really not that hard, but 50 times 0.78 right there, we'll get $40 back. So we're getting $40 back in the bonus bet system. Now, this is the system you'd use to have an advantage over the bookies, right? It'd be the system that you use. So as I said before, in our group, we tip NBA, and in the NBA bets, we do this exact same system. And as you guys can see, if you do this over a long time, you will be profitable. And we've tracked this with a graph. It's a profitable system. It's literally just called match betting. It's what it is. You basically get an advantage. So when we lose, we only lose like literally $10, as you guys can see right there from the $50 bonus bet. But when we win 2 times, 3 times odds, right? 2 to 3 times odds at minimum, right? So that's what the system is. And once you guys understand that, you understand why the bookies don't want you to place a $50 bonus bet promo max every time. Because if you do, you will get, flagged as a match better, and they will see that, and they'll obviously flag your account and limit or restrict you. So yeah, I went to a big yap search there, boys, but understand that if we have an edge like that, they can call it out by seeing us bet max promo sizes. So what good bettors do is they go 45 or they go 40, right? And they don't fully use the bet return. That's how you stay under the radar, right? So next thing is different bookies are different. So common sense right here, boys. Different bookies have different things. So certain bookies can ban you quicker and faster than other bookies, right? Certain bookies are more valuable than others, and based on account value, the promotions that bookie gives, and the strictness is how much we have a value of the bookie. Now, again, in our group, in the YAUPICKS group, we have a bookie list showing this that we've done. So these are like all the bookies in Australia that we've done. I'll show you boys a quick little thing. I can't expose too much, but feel free to take that. We have 136 on this. I'm not going to scroll anymore because you guys are going to get the free source. But basically what this is, right, is a free bookie list. And what this bookie does is it shows you everything about the bookie. So I'm going to move this real quick. Move this back here. And I'll show you boys right there. So as you guys can see right here, the bookie list right there is just showing you guys what the bookie is, the notes on the bookie. It tells you how much you can make as soon as you join. So $100, if you deposit $100 in Bet365, you'll get $100. And then using this bot, we can turn that $100 and get at least 70%. This bot. Sorry, we can choose that $100 and get at least around a net return of 78%. So you'd make $78 just from the bonus that this gives you, the deposit match, because a lot of bookies offer deposit matches. So when you donate when you deposit $100, you can get $100, and as you guys can see right there, you get $100 from this bookie. So this is a bookie list showing all that. It shows you the bonuses. We have notes on this. We have the linked bookies. So some bookies also are from groups. So for example, there's amused groups, right? There's something called the amused company Australia sports betting app. So this is the biggest one in Australia, the amused bookies. So the amused group own all of this, right? They own Bet Deluxe, they own Bet Nation, they own Surge, they own Noisy, they own BetJet and YesBet. And the reason why this is important, the reason why we note this down in the bookie list is because they're connected. So if you get banned on one or restricted on one, you will probably get banned on every single one that company owns. So this is why it's important to note this down. That's what we have. So again, for the bookie list, if you want access to that, just join the group, right? It's a free trial, but I'll get into that in the end. But basically, yeah, so that's what it is. And once you guys understand that these bookies are different and how to treat them different. So for example, if you were to prime your account using mug betting, as I said before, and your stake sizing and all that, you wouldn't need to do it as long for example, for a bookie like Sportsbet, or a bookie like, Bet365, or a bookie that's not as as strict. But for something like Ladbrokes, a bookie that is pretty well known, still pretty big, but it's really, really strict, you'll need to prime that account a lot, and it'll ban you a lot quicker too. So just bear in mind where you put your money, right? So again, we'll get into that, but this is just some simple stuff for now, so I'm not trying to make it too complicated for you boys. But just know that certain bookies ban you quicker, and as you guys see, we have this in the bookie list as well. We have instant, very low. This is all tracked, but the way you find this out is just by knowing people or just tracking it all yourself. But I know none of you guys are probably going to do that, so this is why I highly incentivize you guys, join the group. The value's there. But again, we'll get into that, right? The next thing is avoid withdrawals unless you need the money. So people always want to withdraw, spend their money when you become a professional sports bettor, you just keep your money in the bookies, all right? There's no need for you to go and use it's like crypto, bro. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but people treat sports betting, if you don't treat it like a business, then you're gonna just get banned. Because if you're treating it like, oh, I need to make money quick, let me make money, and then let me just withdraw and then done. No, 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 no. Just keep it in your account, build up your bankroll, right? A bankroll, by the way, I didn't really explain it in this video, but a bankroll is what you have set aside for sports betting. So basically, what that means is if I have $10,000, right, and I want to put it into match betting, I want to learn the strategy, I want to build up that $10,000, make more money betting with those $10,000, I would put it into my bankroll. My bankroll is, so let's say just 10K right here, all right, but there's like one bookie here, 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 right? It doesn't matter what that is, right? So let's say we have a very strict bookie that bans your accounts. Well, then I might put 500 in there. And let's say we have like one of the main bookies like Sportset. Well, I might put 2K in there. And then I might put 3K into Bet365. And then I might put like 250 into Ladbrokes. And then SwiftBet, I put $100 in there. And then so on, right? That is how you distribute your bankroll. And because of the information you're going to know of what bookie is really high risk, what bookie is really good to use to make a lot of money, you'll know where to put your bankroll. But the point is, you track everything and you'll be able to put your 10K into the bookies. And as you make more money, you don't need to withdraw. So don't withdraw unless you absolutely need to. Your account will get flagged and you won't be able to use it anymore. There's no point in withdrawing. It will flag your account for instant strike up. And do not put do not put money into sports betting / match betting that you need. That's the very most important thing. This is an investment. You're putting money into sports betting to make more money. So stop taking it out. You don't put money into crypto and take it out. Well, I guess you do when you like buy and sell. This is a bit different. You know this is going up. And this is why I love sports betting, because it's not like crypto where you don't know if it's going to go up or down. It is going to go up, sports betting, because it's a match betting, it's mathematics, it's proven, right? So again, that's what I'm saying when I say treat this as a savings bank account, accumulating interest, the more bets that you place, right? And you can make a lot more than a savings account, okay? A savings account, right, maybe makes you like 3% a year, right? Sports betting, our monthly ROI, right, we just like, I'd say like an average horse system makes you 20% a month, right? So it's really about whatever you guys want to put in here. But again, you can start small. No one says you need to start with a 10K bankroll. But again, you need to understand that you should never withdraw unless you absolutely need to. But then at that point, that means that you've put money in that you can't afford to lose, and you should never do that, right? I'm not saying you're going to lose it. I'm just saying you should never put money in that you need. If you need to spend money on groceries, spend money on whatever the fuck, you just need that to be in there, right? In your bank account. If you want to make investments and if you want to make money, put that money, set it aside, and make it very big, make it very, very notable that you have money set aside for sports betting, money set aside for your life expenses, all right? Do not mix those two up. Next thing is, and the final thing is, understand this final tip. You will eventually get banned no matter what you do. What matters is the amount of money you make before that happens. So again, you might be saying, okay, well, Seb, like, how am I going to make money for the rest of my life match betting if you're going to get banned? We teach you how to do this. Don't worry about that. But this is a very advanced guide. And before that even happens, you will already have made around 25 grand per bookie. That is very good in Australia. So you should have made probably like plus 6 figures by the time that happens. So don't even worry about that, because we have strategies for that. Because by the time you make 6 figures, your brain, the way you understand sports betting and the way you understand how sports betting actually works, you will understand that, okay, cool, like it doesn't even matter if I got banned, because look at this strategy that I have. And I already know that I'm going to forever use this to make money for the rest of my life. So it doesn't matter once you get to that point, but just understand that it will eventually happen, okay? Because it's just like a casino. If you win too much money, you will get banned or you'll get asked to leave. Same thing as sports betting. You're a customer, and a customer that is taking money from the company, right? You're taking money out of the company's pockets instead of making it go into the company's pockets is bad. They do not want that. So again, you do not and you cannot be that customer forever, or else you'll be a liability for them. They're a company. Sportsbet are trying to make money. They're a company at the end of the day. That's how it works. So you'll get banned. But by the time you have that, if you do the right strategies and you've done exactly what we're saying right here, plus all the guys in the group, you're gonna make a lot more than that. So I wouldn't even be frustrated, right? So again, just understand that will happen. And my final best word of advice is, boys, this. Let me just spell it out for you, boys, so you guys can see this. This is what really will get you into the sports betting niche, a free trial, which is what we offer. Now, before you guys go on and say you're a course of this, I've explained to you exactly why you need the mug betting bot. I've explained to you exactly why you need this, the mug betting bot. I've explained to you why you need for the max promotion stake sizes. I explained to you why this is an edge, why we can make money off this with the group using the bonus bets and using the strategy of betting and losing less than we win and winning much more than we lose, right? I explained to you that, you understand that, but not just that. We offer all this stuff in our dashboard for all of our members, and you get this as soon as you join the free trial. You have a bonus bet conversion bot, you have a mug betting calculator where you have sports betting calculators as well for arbitrage and lay betting. We literally find these bets for you. They're all there for you. Not only that, but we have a tracker. We show you boys all this. We have all these client testimonials. We made over $4.8 million Australian to all of our members combined, right? There'll be a link in the bio. All you have to do is join, sign up for the free 7-day trial, and I guess we'll see you boys in the group when you're ready to make serious money and start your sports betting journey. We are the biggest group in Australia for a reason, and we'll see you boys in the group. Appreciate all you boys for watching this. Leave a like, subscribe, and I hope to see you boys in the group and start making some money with you guys sports betting. See you there.